XRP, hundreds of dollars. XRP, thousands of dollars. Is it possible? It definitely is, guys, right? I know a lot of people don't believe so, but to be honest, I'm holding XRP for when utility is truly here. Other than that, if XRP randomly or magically this cycle reaches like $90, $100, I'm definitely selling a portion of it, but hodling the rest, guys. It's because this should make you excited, okay? Now check this out. This is insane. Justin, Ripple to capture 80% of the $230 trillion cross-border payment market. Wait, what? So when Brad Garlinghouse was talking about, which we're going to be talking about Brad Garlinghouse here soon, guys. But first things first, we have to talk about this because this lays out the groundwork of what's going to be coming up next, guys, for XRP most definitely. But when Brad Garlinghouse was talking about what 100x from now, right? About 220 trillion for the total crypto market cap in the next 5 to 10 years, guys. Was he talking about this right here? Because Ripple to capture 80% of the $230 trillion cross-border payment market, right? So if Ripple captures a portion of this, guys, that's where all this money will come in, right? That's how all this money will come into XRP, guys. So let's check this out. Though I do believe he wasn't talking about this. Well, no, he was, but he was talking about like how the system today, guys, will be updated and headed towards this decentralized system, right? And that's how we're going to reach these crazy figures. But this plays a portion in Brad Garlinghouse's prediction. So let's check this out. Key assumptions. This is from Delphi Digital. Key assumptions. We approach XRP with more of a utility token framework, right? Utility token. It's not an S coin or meme coin, guys. They themselves are stating it. We calculate long-term potential network value using the incremental value add XRP offers over other Ripple products. Our findings are based on calculating the aggregate incremental value of XRP needed to support the value of transactions its framework facilitates, and assuming adoption of Ripple continues to grow at a relatively rapid pace. It surely will, in my opinion. So here we go. Total global cross-border payments will come out to our assumptions: $155 trillion in 2018, growing 4% annually to eventually reach $230 trillion in 2028. Okay, so it will be what total global cross-border payments is going to be about $230 trillion in 2028. Okay, then rationale: utilizing McKinsey's estimate of global cross-border payments occurring each year being around $155 trillion, we grow this number by 4% annually. And Ripple's market share, our assumption starting at 0.54% in 2019, guys. Let's actually zoom this in. And eventually assuming Ripple is able to capture 79%, so basically 80% of the global cross-border payments market. Rationale: we use an S-curve to estimate Ripple's market share over the next 10 years. Interesting. Brad Garlinghouse just talked about a 5 to 10 year prediction. Weird, huh? This assumes Ripple can capture 80%-ish of the global cross-border payments within markets within 10 years, guys. Right? But here's my theory, okay? So this is their theory, okay? But I have a completely different theory, so to speak. I'll explain why. They're talking about within the next 10 years, Ripple will capture, or XRP, 80% of the global cross-border payment market within the next 10 years. But I don't think that's going to take that long, guys. There's a reason why. I don't know if they're accounting the collapse, because even though that's more so not a fact, but I do believe a collapse will occur just because of the metrics and indicators that are showing, well, things are about to go parabolic, right? Things are, such as that things have to collapse. I believe whenever it collapses, guys, that's when the new financial system takes over. That's when XRP reigns supreme, right? So we have to watch out for the collapse. I don't think it's going to be 10 years. I think in the next couple years, to be honest, right? That's how all the floodgates will open, guys. That's just my theory, though, right? But let's say my theory is wrong. Don't worry, because basically it's guaranteed in the next 10 years, Ripple will still succeed, XRP will still succeed, and XRP will be at an insane price, it seems as, right? So either or, we win, guys. It's just that time, right? Time, right? 2030, right? 2025, 2020. Where will XRP reign supreme, guys, right? By 2025, by 2028, by 2030, right? Because in 2020 it didn't happen, right? So when I'm thinking this portion right here, 2025 to 2028, because of the collapse will probably be in 2026 maybe, right? Depending. I've been hearing some people say it's going to be this year, guys, right? The collapse because of a black swan event. So again, there's so many different theories. What's even happening? We're trying to get ahead of the curve. That's why, guys, right? We must pay attention to everything. Now, incremental benefit of using XRP. Our assumption: by using XRP, banks save around 2 bips per transaction in 2019, and these cost savings eventually expand to 6 bips per transaction in 2028. Rationale: utilizing the estimated fees of the legacy system and Ripple's products, we calculated the projected cost savings to derive the incremental value occurred to the network each year. Then we see XRP's velocity. Our assumption: XRP's velocity is 24 in 2019 and eventually goes up to 365 days, or no, 365 in 2018. Rationale: use similar S-curve to estimate XRP velocity over the next 10 years, starting at 20 in 2018 and growing to 365 in 2028, given the expected increase in XRP adoption. So, in conclusion, they are stating that Ripple is going to capture 80% of this humongous pie, right? Targeting money flowing throughout the world, and there's nothing nobody can do about it, right? Governments will not stop it because they are part of the agenda. That's why. Let us enter Brad Garlinghouse's mind. Brad Garlinghouse tweets out, covered everything from making a dent in the universe with Ripple to the lessons learned over the years in Silicon Valley. Okay? And listen to this, guys.
The US dollar has been devalued through inflation by over 90% in the last 50 years. There are waves of technology that happen.
Exactly, guys. Do you guys not see? Right? He just stated it right there. We don't even need to watch the podcast. But basically, the dollar is probably going to die soon, but first every other currency has to die. Whenever everything dies, guys, it's going to be revived, obviously by something new, and it's going to be digital, as Mr. Poole did say. So, I don't believe it's going to take 10 years. That's why. They are stating 10 years, no. Brad Garlinghouse says 10 years, no. I don't think so. Or 5 to 10 years, right? Shorter than 10 years, he says maybe 5 to 10 years. I'm thinking 2026, right? The reason being is because even though some may be saying, oh, he's pushing back dates. No, I'm not, guys. Big Short, a Riddler in the community, literally stated to stay in until 2026 because I think that's when the bull run ends. So by then, we literally just pump until the collapse. 2026 is probably the collapse or a change of systems. I don't think we wait to 10 years. And I hope to God we don't. I sure hope we don't. Right, 2026. Heading towards 2026, there's going to be pumps and dumps, guys, okay? Beware. But if you could survive till then, you're probably going to be rich by here. After the collapse, you're probably even going to be richer. Why? Because of the new system and XRP. That's just my opinion. That's just my belief. Never financial advice, though. You have to make up your own thesis, conclusion, right?
Where there's amazing tailwinds of value creation and opportunity.
Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple Labs, a blockchain payment solutions company.
If you're not taking risk, you're dying. If we're not failing
Exactly, guys, right? Swift has to change here soon.
a little bit, we're not trying hard enough.
What are
Okay, so I watched about 30-ish minutes, guys, of the podcast thus far. Maybe I'll watch the other portion later on, guys. So in the beginning, he talked about how, the beginning stages of Ripple, where he was at, guys, and his story, his experiences, and how he was ahead of the game, right? He saw what others didn't see. Actually, people told him not to get into Ripple, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, guys, if I remember correctly. But he knew something new has to pop up, right? There needs to be change, guys, because there's always change. Always, always, always. And then he took the risk to join Ripple, right? Because let us fast forward to about 4 minutes and 40 seconds. I have in my notes, guys. Let's listen. Listen very carefully. Please like today's video. Thank you.
And at different times in your life, your risk tolerance should be higher or lower. It depends on who you are, what's going on in your life, all those things. By the time in 2015, I had been working in the, tech space for 18 years. I had done well. And I had an opportunity actually to go work at Uber. And this is 2014, 2015. And that would have been a good outcome, meaning, I feel like, okay, I don't know if they were public yet, but it was right around that time. And
look at that. He could have worked at Uber, guys, and look where they are now, right? Exploded with growth. But guess what? He still didn't choose to. Why? This is very important. This is why I have faith in Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple, XRP, the XRP ledger, the XRP community. Listen.
And I felt like, okay, that's gonna be a good base hit, maybe a double, but is that gonna change my life in any real way? And I was at a point where I was willing to take risk. And I thought, the likelihood that what Ripple's doing is gonna be successful is probably pretty low. But if it worked, the returns and the opportunity to have an impact was much, 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 much higher.
Do you guys not see, right? So Uber wouldn't have really changed his life, but Ripple, if it worked, the return on investment would have been insanely higher, 1,000x higher, guys. Basically, why? Because they're putting a dent in the universe. That's why. Literally changing the foundation of the pyramid, right? Flipping it upside down, or at least adding more blocks or something to it, guys. Right? Making the foundation more structured, so to speak, right? So nobody else sees it. But guys, this is insane. I'm so bullish. Maybe I shouldn't trade XRP. Maybe I should just hold it, right? Because losing 1 XRP, guys, who knows what that 1 XRP will be in the future. In 3 years, 2 years, 1 year from now. $100, $50, $10? I don't know, right? So people are very short-sighted. They don't see the end goal here. But this is how, you guys know how these elite families are even rich and wealthy in the first place? It's because of this. They look towards the hundreds of years, thousands of years. They plan ahead, guys. Right? The average Joe looks towards the next day, right? The next meal. But these people look towards how they can change and take control.
That's a great way of thinking about it. We just talked about that with Elon too, with SpaceX and some of his ideas. It's like those asymmetric returns, you have to have a higher risk profile. And I think he mentioned there's like a 10% chance SpaceX would actually succeed, but he said the work was so important to drive the world forward that I just had to do what was required. So you're at that unique inflection point. What, I guess for those who don't know as well, like what exactly is Ripple, and why do you think Ripple is so important in the future of crypto?
So I'm gonna go back to how Ripple was kind of envisioned way back in 2015 when I joined. And the whole thing came to fruition. I got a recruiting call, and I, frankly, was avoiding the recruiter for a while, and a guy I like, but I say I was busy. I wasn't. I was driving for Uber at the time, just to afford. But
driving from Uber.
But his point to me is like, look, Brad, you've never met Chris Larson. Chris Larson is a guy who had started Elon, he'd started Prosper, and Chris is just an exceptionally good, just the ability to see around corners and where the world's going is a talent, and really, he has way more vision around that than I do. And when I met with him, he kept talking about this thing, an internet of value. And at that time, I had not heard that expression. And he was talking about like all the different ways that value movement has friction that we've become a little bit numb to. I mean, this is gonna sound a little bit pedestrian, but like I have to take my credit card out of my pocket. I have to take my wallet out to pay for something, as opposed that's friction.
Yeah.
It's friction there. They're also taking, somewhere between 100 bips and in some countries 800 bips for the privilege of processing that credit card. And so he's talking about all the different points of friction where an internet of value, if it existed, it would unlock use cases we don't even think about. I'll share one that may never come to fruition, but I remember him.
And he talks about self-driving, transferring value, guys, right? As in, basically says you're in rush hour traffic and you want to go faster. What if you pay the car in front of you to move aside or something? But then there will definitely be issues and stuff like that, guys. Though that's a genius idea, isn't it? Right? Because that's where the world is heading towards, guys. Things moving like this, right? Efficiency. I don't know about you, but it seems like to me we're in good hands, right? Most definitely, guys. I'm going to save the rest maybe for another day because there's so much beautiful information coming out of this podcast, guys. And I'm truly excited. So let's prepare, wait, and watch what happens for to the world, right? And see what happens next. Now, I need you guys. Let's go. What is that? So face amazing. See ya.